Welcome to day 505 of our Web3 journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein, here with my twin brother Brian. And remember, these videos are being sponsored by NFT Tech. They are an investor in Deso. Deso is a Web3 mobile app built on the Deso blockchain. So, Brian, any big news in the crypto space?
A lot of little things, but one big story really caught my attention. And this kind of popped up yesterday morning, shortly after we did our video. But a Tornado Cash developer has been arrested by the Dutch government. And for those who don't know, Tornado Cash is a mixing protocol slash platform. It allows crypto to be mixed or tumbled. It's like if you wanted to get $1,000 in Bitcoin, but you didn't want anybody to realize which account it was going to or which account you were sending it to. Basically, it sends it to a bunch of other accounts and then mixes it all up and then sends it to the final account. The Dutch government arrested an individual suspected of being a developer of Tornado Cash, which the U.S. sanctioned recently. The 29-year-old was a developer. He was providing code for the protocol. Um, and it's interesting because the Dutch government, they say that the man was responsible for concealing criminal financial flows and facilitating money laundering. So he's creating code which is then used to possibly facilitate money laundering.
You know,
Tornado
Brian,
Cash has been used to launder over $7
Brian,
billion worth of virtual currency since 2009, according to the US government. It was also used to mix or to basically launder stolen funds from Ronan Bridge, which was a $600 million theft, as well as the Harmony Bridge theft of $100 million. Now, it's an open source protocol, so anybody can contribute code to it. So I think if this was taking place in the US, you would not be able to be prosecuted for just submitting code. It's a format of free speech, is writing code, right? But I think that if, and it's an if, we don't know the full story here, if this 29-year-old individual was in some way facilitating others to create a web app that could then facilitate money laundering, that could be one thing. If they themselves were money laundering, or if, say, he's creating this code and then directing others, hey, you do this and this and this, and you can launder money knowingly, that would be a different circumstance. But right now, if it's just creating an open source code, I cannot see how he could be prosecuted, at least in the United States. But this is in the Netherlands, and I'm not entirely sure how their laws work in regards to like free speech and the freedom of information.
Brian, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Because I tried interjecting something, you just kept talking.
Yeah,
Uh,
I like rambling on
you
sometimes.
you have an issue where you bang your mic or something a lot, and it makes a terrible
I'm not
sound.
banging a mic.
So anyhow, I think the argument that just writing code isn't doesn't make you criminally liable. I have to argue that if you're writing code with the intention to facilitate money laundering, I think in the U.S. you could also get in trouble for that. If that's the intention here, and that's the that would be criminal intent. I'm not a lawyer, but I think that would be enough to get the feds after you. Money laundering is big. If you're mixing money, if you're making it so that it's impossible, nearly impossible to figure out where money's coming from or going, that's going to be money laundering. Criminals are going to use a service like this so that they can clean their money, so they can launder their money. So I think it's something that needs to be taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you just need to distinguish whether this individual is more involved in writing code. If they were, then maybe they deserve to be prosecuted, depending on how your belief system falls on these types of things.
Yeah, so moving on to the Deso blockchain, Nader yesterday replied to a long thread by Time. I'm sure if you're on Deso, you saw the long thread by Time that addressed several things, several issues he's had with Deso, several things he thinks that they could be doing better, etc. But Nader replied, and he said the reason he's been quiet on is because he's been on his honeymoon for the last 30 days. He has been super quiet on Deso. He has been diamonding posts. He has been reading posts. He has been making some posts, but he just hasn't been as active as he had prior to that 30-day period. He deserves a honeymoon, I think. He just got married, as many of us know. He said big things are definitely missing. The thing that's missing currently is a public roadmap, and he said that that's something that they need to get on. He said to expect an update from Core soon, especially in regards to this roadmap. He said that social aspects of DeSo are still 100% of their core focus, and it will be obvious once they put their roadmap out. He said the team has been working their butts off. So it's good to know that Nader and the core team is still focused on the social aspects of DeSo. Diamond App, bringing people from Web 2 social over to Web 3 social. It's not just all in DAO. It's not just all in, NFTs or all in any individual segment of the DeSo blockchain. It's mostly on social.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this roadmap because I think that if they really are going to be devoting a lot of time and updates to basically the community and the core focus of the community, I think that's going to be big. And I think the community has been waiting for that for quite some time now.
So Stori, where it's a much anticipated app built on the Deso blockchain. They are currently in beta. It's a very limited beta right now. They made a post that's kind of foreshadowing or detailing some of the upcoming features of the Stori app that is coming soon. Uh, they said that they're going to have two different kinds of stories when you make a post. You can choose a short story or a long story. And a short story is going to be shown at the very top of the homepage screen where you see all of the circle profile icons. So this is kind of previewing what it's going to look like. It's going to be displayed, a short story is going to be displayed over a 24-hour period, and then it will vanish and disappear and it'll be gone for good. These are great for sharing everyday life, on the move content, etc. Now, I'm not sure, they say they will disappear, and I just said it'll be gone for good. I don't think it would really be gone for good because it is on the blockchain. At least I think these short stories will be on the blockchain, but I guess we have to wait and see more details on that. As far as long stories go, they're going to require you to choose a storyboard. And a storyboard is a collection of your stories. So you're going to choose a storyboard for your long stories and pin that story to that storyboard. These are going to be shown under the short stories on the homepage, and they're going to remain permanent. So they're always going to show unless you decide to remove them. Also, when you post a story, you're going to be asked for between 5 and 9 hashtags that kind of sum up your story, just for better searching purposes to help people find it.
Yeah, I love this. I love that it's a unique features. These are unique features that you don't see on other DeSo nodes. And that's what we need. We need a variety of different features appealing to different people. And I think Stori will do that. So I'm excited to see it come out of beta or at least an expanded beta soon.
Yeah, definitely. So the Nifty Investor, we haven't really talked much about him lately. He had previously released TikTok videos about Deso. He brought a ton of people into Deso. He actually single-handedly, I think, shot the price of Deso up for a period of time. He just released a new video on his Beanstalk YouTube channel. And in that video, they list 5 coins that you need to know, and says that the 5 coins, quote, could be the next 100x crypto projects. And to some people's surprise, maybe not to others, Deso came in at number 2 on that list of 5. So congrats, Deso. Great video by the Nifty Investor. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. You can see a link to it above this video on Deso or below it on YouTube.
Yeah, and I think it shouldn't be a surprise because Deso is so differentiated from all the other cryptos out there. There's nothing even close to it. You have a lot of like monetary cryptos like Cardano and like Ethereum and like Solana. But when you take just a niche like social, you don't have anything like it. You have sub chains that are building on other blockchains that might have social aspects to them, but you don't have anything like Deso, and I don't think we will see anything like it for a while. So I totally agree. I think this is why we are here. It's so unique. It's revolutionizing the decentralized social space, and if things aren't really exciting right now, that doesn't mean in a year or two from now they're not going to be blowing up. So I like it being number two, and I agree it should be up there.
I would have to argue when you say Ethereum is just like a money system.
Yeah,
Smart
it's
contracts are
coding and
what
stuff.
really I think helped Ethereum take off and what keeps it going. Lixdao is going strong. Of course, Lixdao is the NFT staking DAO that has been created by Clay Oglesby, Nathan Wells, and CFKY. I'm really excited about this, but they're only $500 or so away from their funding goal of $10,000. So this might be one of the most successful DAOs ever, at least in the short history, on DAO. They're $500 away from raising $10,000. There's still 25 days left in the funding round. I I think this is a great example of how a DAO can launch on DAO and flourish.
Yeah, and I love the team behind it. Clay Oglesby, Nathan Wells, CFKY, great group of guys. And I think that that's why I think people recognize their names. They recognize that they can trust them, and I think trust is a big thing within the DAO community. And these people have been on Deso since pretty much the very beginning.
Yeah, exactly. And talking about NFTs on Deso, there's a super awesome NFT collaboration that is taking place both today and tomorrow between D and Nanobots. Of course, D
Yeah,
and D is
so the first piece is going to be minted today on Nanobot's account, and the second piece is going to be Sunday from the DND account. And we love MP3 and Alex Toma; they're doing great jobs. Of course, MP3 is behind the DND account, and Alex Toma behind the Nanobots. It's great. You got to check it out, and I can't wait to see these mintings.
yeah, they released a few little previews and it looks really cool. And like you said, Brian, I think MP3 and Alex Tomer, these OGs who have been here since the start and who have been building and building and building and creating NFTs and investing in NFTs. So definitely check out their release today and tomorrow. So Gem Story, of course, by Brutal. They just added a new pastel color theme. Not my favorite, I must say, but I apologize. I apologize, Brutal, but it is something that some
Stop
people
being
might
so
like.
brutal to brutal.
No, but I mean, like everybody has their own opinion of things. Just because I don't really enjoy a pastel app or website doesn't mean other people don't, right? So so all to access it, all you have to do is you click on the dark/light mode button on the upper right hand side of your screen. It's like a night day icon, and then you're going to scroll down and click on the paint palette, and then you're going to have a beautiful pink and purple pastelly. I don't know.
It looks a little bit like somebody threw up on the screen. No,
Yeah, it's very Eastery.
I heard people argue that pastels are easier on the eyes, but I don't know. I feel it strains my eyes. Nothing against this color, because I do realize that other websites have gone with pastel colors, and I feel like there is that group of people that love them. It just doesn't work for me for some reason. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't check it out and see if it works for you.
Well, I mean, technically, we do have pastel colors on NFTZ, right?
Yeah, but
It's
I'm
just not
talking
so
like
overwhelming, right?
the very light like pinks and yellows. I don't know. I feel they clash with text,
Oh, and by the way, there's a new NFTZ UI update coming, probably in a few weeks.
where we probably won't have as many pastel
Yeah,
colors.
exactly. So Desocial World, finally, Desocial World, they enabled read more on their node. So if you hit a long post like Nader's post that he made this morning, you will see a read more button. You click that, it's going to show more text. I like this. I think it's good that, kind of pushes things together. You can view more posts at once.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they were one of the only nodes that allowed for those really long posts. But I think ultimately, like we post our review post, and it just goes and goes and goes. And I agree. It shouldn't just do that. It should just be cut off, and you can click to read more if you want to read more about the what happened in the last week. But moving on, the top NFT bidders over the last 24 hours, according to NFTZ, Studio Richards, followed by Vishnu Sularin, Garbo, La Big Mac, Rhubarb, NFT Pets, Sarah NFTs, Meta Philosopher, Eat Green Apples, and Jeremy G. And the top diamonded creators over the last 24 hours, according to our friends at Altum Base, are Nordian, made a lot of really good posts over the last day.
You did.
M. Her, Krasenstein Us, Miami, Japan, Nagar, Nargat, Nagardash, Hingu, Clout Women Unite, Rihan Ri, Now and Then, Randier, and Brutal. So congrats to all those people. Keep it up.
Glad to see Clout Women Unite up there. Well deserved. So have a great rest of your weekend. We will talk to you tomorrow. Later.